some of the things that we can do. Let's see here. Customer acquisition, retain customer, right? Increase customer retention. That also increases your revenue. Then of course work with customer profitability. Let's see, we have one here. One example, right? Customer retention, customer profitability. That is the link from the customer perspective to the revenue growth perspective and the cost efficiency perspective. Remember we talked about 4 types of customers that time. We made a square. Remember? We always make a square, right? There is nothing in marketing that can't be communicated in a 2x2 matrix, right? Remember? This is the model, right? And we have the high cost to serve and the low cost to serve. Yes. And we have high volume and low volume. Remember? So in this square we have our key account, right? In this square we have the most profitable customers. And then we have our 2 other customer segments, the least profitable customers or commodity customers. And then we have what do you call the customer? What? What do you call these? In the presentation is chapter 9, the customer profitability.
So you say that for those customers, you higher the price in order to get rid of them because they
Not
don't.
necessarily. Remember, we have a strategy for each of these customers. What?
Demanding customers?
Maybe we should go to the presentation then, right? You have it uploaded, so it's in the key, right? Or maybe we should go to chapter 9. One of remember this one? The general idea is that you want to be able to put your customers in each box, right? Because then you can develop a marketing strategy for each customer. So this is an important tool to be aware of. How can we actually treat these customers? We have these 5 types, right? So strategies for defending this cross-selling, communication, integrated processes, and long-term contracts. Right? That is for our highly profitable customers. So it's a defense strategy. Why is it defense strategy? we want to defend them from our competitors, right? And we do that via trying to get closer to the customer, deeper into the value chain. That's the idea. So if you were to do an estimate of follow-up on these customers, right, do or a system product, you want to have to measure with these different kinds of percentages, right? Because you want to know what strategy to apply, what to measure, what to follow up. So, looking at this, the strategy is what we need to measure in our company. But this is a marketing strategy, right? Because in order to have integrated processes, what do we need to have in the company? We can't just say, oh, well, we need to have, we want to have integrated processes. Now we have it. Right? It takes a substantial amount of work. First of all, we need to have the employee to the qualification, right? Then we need to build the processes. And that is what we measure in the balanced scorecard. Do we actually have the qualifications? So you can say yes or no. If you don't have the qualifications, then you need to acquire that qualification, either via training or via hiring your employees, right? Then the next step is to build a process. So do we have the necessary tools to build the process? That's the physical environment, and do we have, how we establish that we have the manpower, and we have the physical environment to do these processes. And then we can actually use this defense strategy. Right? So it's all about what does it require. Maybe we can always make a marketing strategy, but first of all, if the strategy is not viable, if you don't have the internal competences to implement this strategy, then it doesn't make sense, right? You need to check whether you actually have this. Of course, in your project, you can't check this, but what is important is that you are able and that you are able to build the link from your strategy to the necessary competences and resources available in the company, right? Same goes for when you do financial ratios. It doesn't make sense to try to implement a strategy that the company can't afford, right? That's why you do financial analysis, right? In your internal and external analysis. First of all, we need to establish if we have money in the company to implement the strategy. And second of all, how does our competitor look? They're much stronger financially, right? We can take this into our strategy. Same goes for this strategy, right? You don't have the internal competences. How do you integrate processes? So all of these topics are linked, right? Soul is linked, marketing is linked to soul, and soul marketing is linked to economics. They're all linked to each other. Does this make a bit more sense? I know this is a bit of a complex projection of the company. First of all, because most of you haven't really tried to do the job yet. Right? So you just have to trust me when I say that it's more or less like this, how this works, right? All right. So it comes back to the balanced scorecard. The idea behind the balanced scorecard is that you make all these metrics tangible, and you know how to work with them. And first, you know how to work with them, right? Here we have again, right? The human capital, skills and knowledge. Then we have the organization capital. That can be leadership, the culture and organization. Then we have the information capital, which is the information to the systems we have. is a spawn of the balance software. So in order to achieve something, you need to, for instance, if you want to do product development, right? You need to have comprehensive and total learning culture. Sounds simple, right? You have a culture and a company that says no mistakes, right? That's a culture that is very good for innovation. All the time. But there might be organizations that there will be organizations where zero mistake culture is very good, right? If you, for instance, are operating a nuclear power plant, right? Zero mistake culture is kind of good, right? Or if you're an accounting company, you don't want to make that mistake either. So, depends on how you work. So, the idea is that you can analyze the company from top to bottom and bottom to top as well. Because if you can market processes develop new products, and you also need to measure. We talked about this before. Well, how is it we measure new products? If the company wants to have new products and to reward new products, how do we measure that? Display that as well. Just think about the product. Let's take the product Lego. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of it has kids, right? But does anyone here have kids? Is there anyone here who plays with Lego? Well, so you know that Lego is a toy, right? Comes in different packages, right? So when do you buy Lego?
For example, I see that the Lego is some pieces that like if it was Hogwarts, for example, then I wouldn't hesitate and then I would start it. Like maybe Harry Potter and something.
Yes.
Or like a cat, for a girl. Like if you see it suitable for the little customer.
Yes, but when did you purchase Lego? What is the trigger to purchase?
A video game, for example.
Yes. So what is Lego done to their product range? Well, they have small bags. The other thing the kids are loving their junk in the line in the supermarket, right? Then you have small boxes for small gifts, right? Small purchases. You have this big box, this bigger, right? Then you have the medium-sized box. You have the big box, right? That's the one that their grandparents buy for Christmas. Right? But the idea is also to keep developing new models, right? Because once you purchase a model, you're not going to purchase it again. The same thing with shoes, right? Once you purchase one, you're not going to purchase it one again, right? Yeah, but you try to ask your email so you told them the same triggers purchase, right? Triggers purchase that you don't have the same shoe, right? Because, well, never mind. Let's go back to the bad example. The point is that every time there's a new model, you will the idea is to issue models all the time to create an option for buying, right? But you're not going to buy the same model again, right? So that's why Lego, for instance, 60% of Lego's revenue stems from new products. Models which have been developed within the last 18 months. And of course, it has to be like this because if they wouldn't be new models, right? Their customer segment would be shrinking because they wouldn't be able to sell the same model twice, same customer, right? That's why they keep, developing the models all the time so that there's a reason to buy Lego, right? And you can find a lot of industries where this is the same kind of strategy. So you measure the revenue from new products. Lego has a target to have this 60% of all revenue from new products. That shows them that they are developing the product line all the time, right? Same goes for consulting companies. I once worked with Deloitte, and Deloitte, they have the measure that 40% of all consulting revenue should stem from concepts that have been developed in the last year. That's also a way to renew their knowledge all the time, right? So consulting is all about renewing knowledge. There are no organizations these kind of measures. The idea is that once you have a marketing strategy, you have to measure it. So you can actually fulfill our marketing strategy. And how do we follow up? If we discover that we do not sell, if legal discover that they do not have 60% of their revenue stemming from new products, right? Then they have to analyze what went wrong. So why is it that it's not like this? So that is the idea behind the implementation and follow-up, to be able to make some measures for our strategy. So far, you just make some strategy, like some marketing strategy. But you haven't really changed through the organization. What does it actually mean to have a strategy? So, in the CCE7, you're going to have some tools that will put you in a position where you can actually measure and work with the implementation of the strategy. It's chapter 2 in Kaplan, but basically the entire Kaplan book is based on delivering measures for the balanced scorecard. Remember customer profitability. It's also a way to segment and measure customer profitability to contribute to the balanced scorecard. So everything is aligned with balanced scorecard in the Kaplan book. And the CCE7 project is going to be the forerunner of your investment project. And the CCE7 project will be asked to make an implementation and measurement strategy for your marketing plan.
Just now you said that when you have a strategy and once you measure the strategy, what does this strategy mean? So if I say one strategy means something, there should be several categories. For example, financially it means, or managerial speaking it means. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you have the idea that, oh, we want to increase our return on investment from 5 to 7%, right? What do we actually have to do in order to increase our return on investment from 5 to 7%? Well, we can work with cost efficiency. How do we work with cost efficiency? That is, of course, production efficiency, but it can also be efficiency working with our customers. Reducing costs from channels, for instance. Find cheaper ways to sell to our customers. If, for instance, customers have high cost to serve, right, then we will try to reduce those costs to serve. We could do that in different ways. If we have a lot of deliveries, remember that? If we have a lot of deliveries, we can institute minimum order sizes. If we institute minimum order sizes, the cost to serve will decrease. Right? That will increase our cost efficiency, which in case will increase the profitability of the customer and increase our return on investment. We can also work with our asset usability. Asset usage. Right? Remember our stocks, our fixed assets, and our current assets. So if we, for instance, reduce our credit time to customers, that will increase our asset turnover ratio and hence our return on investment. We can also work with our inventory to reduce our inventory. If we reduce our inventory, we will increase our asset turnover ratio. And if we increase our asset turnover ratio, we will increase our return investment. Remember, we're back to the fifth semester, the Palm Pyramid. And this actually the thing that we're measuring this stone program. It's just much more specific. And we're able to combine the non-financial measures because it does influence our measures. So I'll just have a talk with the office because we should have a lesson on the 5th of April in the afternoon. Because the next time I see you guys is the 20th of April. And then some of you might not know what to do in your